two-step inequalities. Okay, we have the following problem. We have 4x. So we have 4x minus 1. Then we have an inequality sign, and then 11. So we're going to circle our letters. We're going to box our numbers and box our numbers. So we're going to use B, C, D like we've done before. We're going to move the minus 1 out of there because we want the circle by itself, so each side gets a plus 1. We're going to cross this out. We're going to end up with 4x, inequality sign. Now we get 12. Now, before you divide by 4, you always want to check the number next to the letter. If that number is a negative number, then you're going to go ahead and change your sign and turn your signs the other direction. So make sure that you always look at the number next to the letter to make sure it's not negative. If it is a negative, we would turn our sign the other direction. So we cross this out. We have our x. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we have 3 is better than x. So 3 is better than x. So we're going to, actually, we cut this off here. This allows us to get our sign here, and then we want to type in the number 3. So again, we're going to have x, then we're going to have the sign, and then we're going to have 3. So you got to make sure that this is cut off for you to go ahead and use this. So let's go ahead and check this. And it's correct. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now the next one, which graph represents a solution set of this inequality? So we're going to have to solve this down, and then we're going to have to look at the graph. So we have a negative 3b minus 15 is better than a negative 24. Because remember, wherever it opens up, that's better. Circle your letters, box your numbers, and box your numbers. Go ahead and add 15 to both sides. So you get a negative 3b. Cross this out. This is a negative 9. Now notice you are dividing by a negative here. The letter is negative. So when you cross this out here, you get b. But you have to turn your sign the other direction. Since the letter was negative, you have to turn your sign the other direction. So now we have 3 now is better than b. So now what would our graph look like? Well, we're going to have an open circle because there's no solid line underneath the inequality sign. We're going to be at 3, and I would use my left hand to make that sign. So since I would use my left hand to make that sign, then I know that it's going to go the left direction. So we want to open circle above the 3 going to the left. So it looks like A would be my best choice. See, B would be no good because it's not even a positive 3, it's a negative 3. C would be no good because you got a solid. See, this doesn't have the line underneath, doesn't have the equal to sign there, so it's not C. And D, it's an open circle, but it's going in the wrong direction. So A would be our best choice. Okay, next problem. We have 14 minus 3x, and we're saying that actually negative 1 is better than that. So let's box our numbers, let's circle our letters, let's box our numbers. We want this one circle by itself, so we're going to subtract by 14. Cross this out. This is a negative 3x, this is a negative 15. Notice that the letter is negative. If the letter's negative, when you divide, you're going to have to turn the sign the other direction. So negative 15 divided by negative 3 would be a positive 5. So we want x to be better than 5. So x needs to be better than 5. So we want x to be better than 5. And again, you could see that from my answer. So x is better than 5. So let's check this. Okay, let's go to the next question. Now we have a number line here, and we're going to say 11q plus 5, and then we have 49. So we want to go ahead and circle our letters, box our numbers. Now notice the 5 needs to move, so it's going to turn into a -5. Cross this out, so we have 11q is now equal to 44. We're dividing by a positive 11, so the letter is a positive 11. And actually, it shouldn't be an equal sign. This should have been an inequality sign here, so let me change that. So it should be an inequality sign here. And we do not have to change the sign because it's positive. So 44 divided by 11 is 4. So now on the graph, we want this to be solid because we see the little solid line. We want to begin at 4, and I would use my left hand to make that sign. So since I use my left hand to make that sign, it's going to go to the left. So A is a 4, but it's going to the right. It's solid. B is what we're looking for. Let's see, C is an open circle, that's no good, and D is an open circle, that's no good. So my best choice for this one is B. Okay, next question. I have 8x minus 8, and then their inequality sign, and then -72. So 8x minus 8, inequality sign, -72. Circle, box, and box. Add 8 to both sides. Cross out. This is 8x. This is the inequality sign. This is a -64. Now we only care about the letters, so don't think, oh, the number's negative, I got to switch a sign. No, it's only the letter. So the letter. So if the letter was negative, we would change our sign the other way. But the letter's positive, so everything is good. So we're going to go x, then our sign, our inequality sign, and now -8. So our answer is -8 is better than x. So -8 is better than x. So let's cut this off. So we want to use the inequality sign. We've got our inequality sign in place, and this was a -8. So we have a -8. So again, we have x. Actually, -8 is better than x. So remember, wherever the sign opens up to, that's the better side. So let's check it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So I got a -11 minus 2d. This is better than 1. So let's box our numbers, circle our letters, let's box our numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 11 to both sides. Cross this out. This is a -2d is better than 12. Notice I am dividing by a negative. The letter is a negative. So when I cross this out, that gives me d. I must turn my sign the other direction. 12 divided by -2 is a -6. So again, make sure when the letter is negative that you turn your sign the other direction. Now I see the little solid line, so I know this is solid. I know it's going to be at -6. I'm going to use my left hand to make that sign. So I'm looking for solid above -6 and going to the left. A is no good, it's going to the right. B is not even the correct number. C is our best choice because it's -6 going to the left. D is not the correct number, plus it's an open circle. So letter C should be our answer. Okay, next question. We have -3x plus 8, and then our inequality sign, and then 15. So we're going to circle the letters and box the numbers. Okay, the 8, we're going to subtract both sides by 8. So we're going to cross this out. So I have -3x. 15 minus the 8 is 7. Then we have our inequality sign. We're going to divide by -3. Notice the letter is negative. So we're going to cross this out. This is x. Make sure you turn your sign the other direction. So you get 7 and a -3. So 7 over a -3. So let's cut this off. Let's put in our sign. And now let's go 7 over -3. Now let's check this. Now Khan Academy might not like the negative sign as the denominator. It might like it as a numerator. So let's see what happens. But we do know that is a negative sign there. So let's check it. Okay, so it says it's almost there. So what we have to do is, I believe we have to adjust this sign here. So we have to take this negative sign and go 7 over the 3. So I believe the adjustment that we need is to move the negative sign to the top. So now it's correct. So just remember, yeah, it's in one negative sign. That's all you need for the fraction. But for Khan Academy to accept the answer, we have to bump the negative sign up to the top.